They won't give you a signal before they stab you in the back. They'll greet you with a smile, grip your hand like a friend, and patiently wait for the perfect opportunity to strike. The moment they sense weakness, they act. In this world, what people perceive is more dangerous than what's actually true. You don't need to be shattered for them to come after you. Just appearing fragile is enough. Machiavelli didn't survive by brute force. He survived by crafting an aura of invincibility. If you seek influence, understand this: never reveal your wounds to the wolves. Even if you're bleeding inside, you must make them believe you're ready to bite. They don't go after you because you're weak. They attack because you seem like easy prey. Machiavelli never just cautioned about enemies. He warned against projecting softness. If you want to be beyond reach, the first thing to eliminate is the illusion of fragility. No one cares about your internal agony. What matters is how you present yourself. You might be silently breaking apart, but if they sense it, they will use it against you. Machiavelli once wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you truly are." That's why your image is your weapon. Even if you're falling apart on the inside, you must project control. Never make your struggle public. No breakdowns online. No confessions to people who don't need to hear them. Endure in silence, because someone is always watching, calculating. Then talk less. Watch more. Every word you say is a tool someone might use against you. The less they know, the more they fear what you're capable of. Being unreadable is power. Silence isn't just absence of speech. It's a tactic. Machiavelli understood that survival belongs not to the strongest, but to those who can't be predicted. Strip emotion from decision-making. People who feel too much are easy to trap. They act on impulse, apologize for being human, and live with regret, but not you. Your mindset must shift from "how do I feel" to "what does this achieve?" Morality doesn't shield you. Strategy does. Release the craving to be liked. Approval is leverage against you. Machiavelli said it best: "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Make your presence command respect, not beg for affection. When people fear letting you down, they stay in line. When they love you too much, they begin to manipulate you. And above all, limit access. Too much access gives others control. The more someone can reach you, the more they learn your patterns, your responses, your emotional cracks. Protect your access like a castle guards its gates. Be warm, yet distant. Be present, yet unreachable. Let them encounter your shadow more often than your face. The truly untouchable are rarely seen. They become mythic. The appearance of weakness is an open door to your downfall. If they believe you can bleed, they'll make you bleed. But if you destroy that illusion, if you become unreadable, unshakable, they'll hesitate. And hesitation is all the time you need to win. Power isn't defined by truth. It's sculpted through perception. Machiavelli knew long before modern psychology existed that most people won't bother to look past appearances, so don't waste time hoping they'll see the real you. They won't. What they see is what you control. If you shape their vision, you shape your fate. Most people ruin themselves by being too visible, too available, too open. They overshare, over-explain, and over-justify. That's not honesty, that's exposure. You owe no one your full truth. What you owe yourself is the advantage of mystery. Begin with your identity. Build it like a weapon. Be seen only as you intend to be. If you want respect, cultivate an image that's composed and commanding. If you want fear, let your stillness feel like a storm waiting to strike. Every word, every gesture, every look should be deliberate. Discard what's unnecessary. Your influence lies in being unreadable. Once people decode you, they start mapping your weaknesses. They'll probe your limits, test your resolve. So never show your full hand. Keep parts of you hidden. Let them speculate. Let them fear the unknown. Let them talk about what you might do next. Fear grows in ambiguity. Machiavelli warned people are swayed more by appearances than facts. Use that to your favor. If you're struggling, stay composed. If you're uncertain, act decisive. If you seek vengeance, wear the face of kindness. Master deception, not out of cruelty, but as protection. In a world where your image becomes your currency, reality is secondary. You can be strong and still be overlooked. If your persona is soft, but you can be broken inside and still be revered. If your image commands fear, those who are untouchable never beg to be seen. They construct a version of themselves that cannot be doubted. Their public self is a shield, cold, powerful, impenetrable. Everything they do is intentional. Every movement carries a signal. From now on, remember, every step, every word, every silence speaks, so make each one count. When you enter a space, walk like consequence. When you speak, let it sound like finality. When you're quiet, let the silence sting like a threat. You are no longer just an individual, you are presence, and presence makes people pause. It makes them doubt their next move. Perception is either a leash or a blade. If you control it, you remain above attack. If you lose grip of it, you become prey. Construct your image like you would a fortress. Behind silence, hide your cracks. Behind confidence, hide your strategy. And every glimpse they get of you should leave them too shaken to ever attempt to reach the real you. Loyalty is a beautiful illusion until it's weaponized to chain you. Machiavelli understood long ago that loyalty is rarely pure. It's a transaction, not a virtue. People are loyal to their benefit, not to you. The second your value fades, so does their devotion. If you want to be truly untouchable, erase the fantasy that loyalty protects you. It doesn't. Power does. Stop forming emotional bonds that leave you exposed. Start crafting leverage that keeps people aligned. If someone respects you only because they like you, they will turn the moment that affection fades. But if they stay in line because they need you, or fear the cost of betrayal, they remain even if they hate your very existence. That's the uncomfortable truth. Few admit. Power dictates behavior. Don't be seduced by kind words or years of closeness. Many are simply waiting for the perfect moment to rise from your fall. So stay ahead. Always hold the leverage. Be the one who controls what others want. Become essential or become dangerous. Never dangle from the rope hoping someone won't let go. Be the one who holds it and make sure they know it. Machiavelli didn't rely on sentiment. He trusted dynamics, power dynamics. Keep allies close, but never lose the upper hand. Give enough to make them dependent, but never so much that you depend on them. If someone does something for you, repay them with strength. Don't bow. Don't become indebted. Maintain your ability to walk away at all times, because the one who can walk away wins. Emotional attachment is the enemy of precision. You can love, yes, but never let that love blur your vision. Observe, the most dangerous threats are not your enemies. They're the allies who study you, waiting for your guard to lower. The untouchable don't build friendships, they build alliances. They know even the tightest bonds can shatter under pressure, ambition, jealousy, or fear. So they stay prepared. They don't promise forever. They trust timing, options, and control. And that's what keeps them undefeated. Loyalty without conditions is a risk. Let others make oaths and promises. Nod, smile, but prepare for their betrayal. When that moment comes, you won't plead, you won't panic. You'll already have the replacement, the counter, the next move. That is the mark of someone untouchable, not in who follows them, but in how they remain untouchable, even when no one does. Hesitation is a luxury reserved for the powerless. Emotion is the very tool your enemies hope you'll use, because the second you feel, you stop thinking. Machiavelli grasped this truth long before modern minds gave it language. He didn't indulge in revenge fantasies. He engineered payback with purpose. He didn't act from rage. He acted from necessity. That is how the untouchable rise. They don't react. They respond with precision, with timing, with finality. If anger controls your hand, you'll swing too soon, too wide, and miss. Worse, you'll show your cards. But if you detach, if you become calculated and cold, every move becomes deliberate. Every step becomes conquest. The untouchable aren't unfeeling. They're disciplined. They command their emotions like tools. Anger is used for planning, not shouting. Betrayal fuels preparation, not tears. The enemy must never sense how deeply they've affected you. If they suspect they rattled your core, they've already won. But if they strike, and you don't flinch, if your reply is calm, measured, surgical, they begin to doubt themselves. That doubt is your weapon. You must become the type of person who can smile in the face of someone plotting your downfall, all while designing their collapse in silence. Not because you're cruel, but because showing mercy to those who tried to destroy you is a mistake. When you respond, do it with such certainty that they never try again. No half measures. Half measures are breeding grounds for future threats. When the moment comes, don't hesitate. Don't negotiate. Erase the threat. Sever the tie. Remove the possibility of peace. Let your enemies dread your silence, not hope for your forgiveness. This doesn't mean you go around causing chaos publicly. It means you master psychological supremacy, economic leverage, social erasure, and the dismantling of their image. Silence their voice. Cripple their reputation. Make it so they can't rise again without crawling through the ashes of their own ambition. This isn't cruelty. This is survival. Because in a world that feeds on softness, mercy becomes bait, and you become prey. The untouchable don't fight fair. They end the game. If someone moves against you, ruin the tools they used. If they lie, bury them under the weight of a louder, harsher truth. If they try to block your path, tear down the entire road. This isn't about pettiness. This is about making sure they never come back stronger. Emotional people waver. They question themselves. The untouchable don't blink. They know that if a threat is not eliminated, it evolves. So they strike with permanence. Machiavelli wrote, "A ruler must be both beast and man. The beast strikes without fear. The man calculates the time and place. Together they form the ultimate force. A mind that plots and a presence that dominates. That's who you must become. Calm, emotionless, lethal. Never move in a wave of emotion. Wait, watch, plan. And when you strike, do it without drama, without noise, only results. Your enemies will try to manipulate your compassion. They'll play victim, hoping guilt will undo your resolve. Don't fall into that trap. Guilt is a weapon they use to soften your edge. Your only obligation is to your own position. If they wanted mercy, they shouldn't have lit the match. If they regret their actions, let that regret eat them alive. You're not responsible for their conscience. You're responsible for your throne. Don't explain your actions. Don't broadcast your plans. Execute with silence. The most effective strike is the one that comes without a sound and leaves no trace. When you move, move decisively, surgically, and then disappear like nothing ever happened. Let them sit in the rubble, confused about how it all fell apart. That confusion is louder than any words you could speak. The untouchable don't seek approval. They don't ask permission. They don't beg for understanding. They remove threats and move forward. That's not heartlessness. That's strategic clarity. You're not here to be understood. You're here to win. Every act of retaliation must serve the larger objective. If the result is a crippled enemy, a reputation beyond question, and a clear conscience, then you've succeeded. They'll never know how close they were to breaking you, because you didn't let it show. They came for you. They missed. You endured. Because while they played with emotions, you played for permanence. And to be truly untouchable, you must vanish in plain sight. Power is safest when it's not seen. The most dangerous person in the room is not the loudest. It's the silent one in the corner, watching everything, controlling the room without saying a single word. Machiavelli understood this principle. Once people recognize your control, they'll begin plotting how to strip it from you. But if you operate from the shadows, they won't even know who's pulling the strings. Visibility is a magnet for envy. Attention attracts sabotage. Influence without exposure, that's invincibility. Your strength shouldn't be proven. It should be suspected. Let others whisper about it, never confirm it. The more you're watched, the easier you are to target. But when you're hidden, you're immune. You're not the storm. They can see the storm coming. Be the wind. You're not the king on the throne. You're the mind behind the crown. The secret to absolute power is silent control. Let others chase crowns, applause, and titles. You guide the kingdom from behind the curtain. Let them believe they're in charge while you direct the outcome. This is how you stay undefeated, by being everywhere and nowhere all at once. Influence without ownership, power without spotlight, control without attachment. That is your goal. Learn how to guide people without possessing them. Shape events without being tied to them. Win battles without even being present. Let them feel free while walking a path you've laid. Feed their ego, make them think they're leading, and they'll serve your purpose unknowingly. This isn't manipulation, it's mastery, and mastery is the language of the untouchable. Stop screaming your value. Stop putting your strength on display. The most devastating blows come from the places no one watches. Your enemies can't block what they don't see. Invisibility breeds unpredictability. And when no one can predict you, no one can stop you. Silence is your sword. Mystery is your armor. True influence happens from the shadows. People trust what doesn't threaten them. When you're quiet, they feel safe. And in that comfort, they reveal themselves. They expose their doubts, their fears, their plans, and all the while, they never realize you're the architect of their steps. But the moment you're seen too clearly, you become vulnerable. Your patterns get mapped. Your image becomes a target. That's why you must detach from the need to be recognized. Praise is a trap. Validation is a chain. Your identity must be a mask. Your goals unreadable. And as you grow more unpredictable, your enemies descend into confusion. They begin guessing your moves, your motives, your thoughts. And in guessing, they falter. They lash out at illusions. They prepare for ghosts. And while they spiral into chaos, you remain calm, measured, still. The untouchable don't just win. They let others destroy themselves trying to figure out how they're winning. You're not here for applause. You're here to orchestrate. Let others chase fame. Let them bask in the light and burn under it. You remain in the shadows, focused, strategic, cold. The ones who rise too fast draw fire. But you stay grounded, building something so solid that no fire can touch it. Let them forget your name. Let them never recognize your face. But ensure that your fingerprints are on everything that matters. That is power. That is victory. Let others take the credit. Let them believe they won. As long as you hold the board, the pieces move according to your design. Be the strategist who never reveals all his cards. Be the architect of outcomes, not the face of them. When you appear weak while being strong, when you pretend not to care while being deeply invested, that's when you gain the advantage. The underestimated always hold the sharpest edge. Appear indifferent when you're fully engaged. Let them think they've figured you out. Let them believe you're harmless until it's too late. This is how true dominance is built. Machiavelli wrote that it's better to be feared than loved, but the real art is to control both while showing neither. That is supreme power, to rule with nothing but perception and position. If this message struck a nerve, don't just scroll past. Take it seriously. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications, because these lessons aren't just content. They're weapons. They're armor for your mind. Tools for survival in a world that feeds on the naive and the soft. Every week we deliver raw strategy. No filters, no apologies. Just unshakable clarity. If you're tired of being broken, tired of being overlooked, tired of being at the mercy of others' moves, then this is where you sharpen your edge, where you upgrade your mindset, where you become untouchable. This isn't for everyone. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's for the few who are ready to rise, to dominate, to live with precision, and move without fear. Stay ahead of them. Stay sharp. Stay out of reach. Because the next move, it's always yours.